How does that work, Dana? Because I see a lot of people, people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't
a boxing thing?
You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going, I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters.
Either way, the last thing you nearly need in your life is for things to go wrong, and you were showing off how you were a big shot financially when you didn't have to, really. You didn't have to do that. And now you have this egg on your face, and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed, or was it your own financial ignorance?
Now, he's accused in multiple lawsuits, all right, of owing millions for luxury watches, gold, and rent as well on the apartment that we just talked about, okay? And so he's got about,
Dana White has criticized Floyd Mayweather for showing interest in another fight with Manny Pacquiao, claiming the decision is mainly about making more money. He described the situation as disappointing and suggested that Mayweather's current financial condition may not be as strong as many people believe, raising questions about why he would want to return for another high-profile payday.
Do and say what they got to say to try to, get in there and make money. It's not even going to be funny. It's going to be bad.
Logan Paul has claimed that Floyd Mayweather still owes him money from their exhibition boxing match, adding to ongoing concerns about Mayweather's financial dealings. The allegation has sparked further discussion about his current financial situation and whether he is facing difficulties in meeting certain financial commitments and obligations.
Fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid me. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment. I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million. He custom built the house, by the way, in like 2006.
Yeah.
Started at 14, reduced to 12, 10, 8 came on the market, and it was a lot of house for 8.
Dana White stated that Floyd Mayweather earned an enormous amount of money throughout his boxing career, with his largest payday coming from the highly successful and widely watched fight against Conor McGregor, which generated record-breaking revenue and became one of the most profitable events in combat sports history.
Biggest fights you've ever had?
Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, which ironically is a boxing event, but it's the biggest combat sports fight ever.
What did that gross?
It did 4.4, 4.5 million buys at $100 a buy.
Yeah. So that worked out okay.
It did.
According to Wade Plemons, Floyd Mayweather did not manage his money well during the early years of his career, and after reaching the end of his prime, he continued returning to the ring for exhibition fights in an effort to earn back money and maintain his financial lifestyle.
Way back, again 5 years ago now, but that was like the initial rumblings around that fight, and what Floyd did was use Mayweather Promotions to bring them this fight and say, if you'll front us this money, we'll put this fight here. They fronted him the money. He took the money, had the fight at the Hard Rock in Miami with Fanmio instead. That was the company that put it on, Fanmio. And Logan saw none of that front end 10 mil, and the people that paid Floyd the 10 mil never saw a dime back. It's nasty work what he did. But this has been like one of Floyd's MOs, is that he leverages his fight name or his quote-unquote assets, and which is what, a lot of wealthy people do. They leverage their assets to take out bigger loans or, whatever. But Floyd does it in such a reckless way that no one ever sees return on it. He just takes money. It isn't a loan. He's stealing.
Joe Rogan stated that Floyd Mayweather spent a large portion of his wealth on an extravagant lifestyle, often acting as if the money would never stop coming. According to Rogan, This pattern of heavy spending may have created financial pressure and contributed to concerns about Mayweather's current financial situation.
Easy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know?
No
Chad
one know.
Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
Fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him, like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium.
Teddy Atlas believes that some people take satisfaction in seeing Floyd Mayweather face challenges today because, for many years, he openly displayed his wealth and luxury lifestyle, which often made others feel envious and created a negative impression among parts of the public.
Taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fall. Potentially
You're right.
fall. Oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Stephen Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's gonna say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made it available.
Dan Raphael explained that the financial concerns surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr. are not unexpected when his career and spending habits are examined closely. According to Raphael, many people could have seen this possibility coming based on the way Mayweather openly displayed his wealth for years. Throughout his career, he built a public image around luxury, regularly showing off private jets, expensive cars, designer fashion, and lavish vacations. These were not rare appearances but a constant part of his lifestyle, becoming one of the most recognizable aspects of his public persona.
We'll contact my people again later, and hopefully I can get it this afternoon to actually read the specifics of the suit and what the allegations are. But the fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first-class hotels, or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor, McGregor, and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't, it goes.
While this lifestyle helped create an image of success and power, it also sparked concerns about whether it could be maintained over the long term. Dan Raphael believes that living at such a high level requires strong financial planning, especially after retirement when major sources of income begin to slow down. He argues that the real issue is not how much money was earned, but how effectively it was managed and protected over time. With ongoing reports of financial challenges and Mayweather's continued participation in exhibition bouts, those concerns appear more relevant than ever. What once looked like endless wealth now serves as a reminder that lasting financial security depends on careful planning, discipline, and smart choices long after a successful career comes to an end.
Allegations about the 340 million, it just didn't ring true to me, because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company, to a fighter. You never hear anybody, even when they're retired and they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make, and the person that he's paid, and the guidance that he's offered.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. was once known for constant displays of luxury, presenting an image of endless wealth and financial dominance. According to the Boxing Ego host, recent developments suggest a very different situation behind the scenes. The analyst highlights a surprising financial downturn, pointing to legal action taken by Floyd Mayweather Jr. against major business partners. Over the years, Floyd Mayweather Jr. maintained close ties with influential figures like Steven Espinoza and networks such as Showtime. These partnerships played a key role in building massive fight revenues and global exposure. However, the current lawsuit, reportedly worth $340 million, claims that significant earnings were never properly paid.
We are going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. was once famous for regularly showcasing a life of luxury, creating the impression of unlimited wealth and financial strength. However, according to the host of Boxing Ago, recent events paint a very different picture behind the scenes. The analyst points to a major financial setback, highlighting legal action Mayweather has reportedly taken against former business associates. Throughout his career, Mayweather worked closely with influential figures such as Steven Espinoza and major broadcasters like Showtime, partnerships that helped generate enormous revenue and worldwide attention. Now, a reported $340 million lawsuit alleges that a large amount of money owed to Mayweather was never properly paid, raising new questions about his financial situation.
Presents the $500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took but never paid for.
Interview 10. This situation has sparked important questions about financial management, contract agreements, and long-term planning in professional boxing. The difference between Mayweather's former image of total financial success and the legal disputes he now faces has surprised many fans and observers. What once looked like complete control over his finances now appears far more complex, showing that even the most successful athletes can face challenges when business arrangements and financial matters become disputed or unclear.
If that's in the contract, guess what? Al Heyman is clear. And now it explains why Floyd don't have Al Heyman in the lawsuit. He can't sue him. Come on, man. Al covered his tracks. Now, he may be getting sued by big corporations, stuff like that, but he's not being sued by any fighter. They can't sue him. You get what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather messed up. And adds insult to injury, Floyd Mayweather has a gambling problem, and he spends a lot of money. He loves to spend money. So whatever he have that's in his possession, he's spending that and blowing that on top of the $340 million that he said that's owed to him. Meaning that he never really got paid from the Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor fight. Come on, man. Al Heyman got power of attorney. You dig? And he covered his tracks. So shout out to the brother man, Al Heyman. You did a good job.
Coach Malachi claims that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is currently involved in a major legal battle involving approximately $340 million that he believes was either lost or improperly handled through business dealings connected to Steven Espinoza and Showtime. According to Malachi, the wording of certain agreements may have protected some individuals from legal responsibility, particularly Al Heyman. He argues that if the contract terms are exactly as reported, it would explain why Heyman has not been named in the lawsuit. In Malachi's view, the details written into those agreements may be the key reason certain parties are not facing legal action despite their past business connections to Mayweather.
Bryn, you've been praising him and worshiping him. Continue to praise him and worship him then. You get what I'm saying? You dig? True. And another thing, let's thank Al Heyman.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and thank Al Heyman.
That's what y'all been doing. You are pro Al Heyman and PBC YouTube channels and a lot of you fan bases online. That's what you've been doing. Continue to praise him then. Al is a smart businessman. He finessed the game. Let's give Al Heyman a round of applause. Good job, Al. You did a good job. And this is a lesson to all of those out there, you know, who think because you signed with the black man that you will not be taken advantage of and the white man is the evil devil. If that's your position, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with however you feel either way. But just understand, when someone wants to steal from you, they don't recognize color.
The discussion emphasizes how complicated financial contracts in boxing can sometimes shield important individuals from legal responsibility. Malachi also argues that personal spending habits may have contributed to the situation, noting that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has long been associated with expensive purchases, luxury living, and high-stakes gambling. He suggests that concerns about financial management remain relevant even amid claims of unpaid earnings from some of Mayweather's biggest fights. According to this viewpoint, the current situation is the result of both complex business arrangements and personal financial choices, creating a challenging and multifaceted issue within the boxing world.
You was too distracted spending. And when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather, that's the oldest trick in the book, y'all. Y'all know. When y'all see somebody flogging money everywhere, they got this, they got that, they got this. Was it Gervonta Davis? Tank told us 2 years ago that the reason they held Floyd Mayweather, you can put it back on the screen, captive, in Dubai is because he had owed them money and they wouldn't release him until he announced the fight to give them their money back. You know they do that over there in Dubai, right? You ain't going nowhere if you owe a debt. He was trapped over there for almost 2 months, according to Gervonta. They shared the same manager, Al Heyman, who collected money in cash because Floyd Mayweather gave him a power of attorney to do so. And so when Floyd went down there and sued Showtime, he's suing Showtime, the company, the network, that publicizes these fights.
Tasha K explains that even when Floyd Mayweather Jr. appears incredibly wealthy, the financial reality behind the scenes may be much more complicated. She points out that earning large amounts of money does not automatically guarantee long-term financial stability, especially when there are ongoing business commitments, unresolved payments, and financial obligations that the public cannot see. According to Tasha K, these hidden pressures can gradually grow over time and create serious challenges, regardless of how successful or financially secure someone may appear from the outside.
To his manager, Al Heyman, and Al Heyman spent the money. The Muslim in the bow tie spent the money. You see a man coming and he a Muslim in a bow tie, he's spending your money. Oh, it's gone. It's good, it's gone. You know they send the Nation of Islam down there. You seen the Muhammad Ali story? Don't act like you ain't seen that. Nation of Islam was all up over there. They were all up over Floyd Mayweather's fights and bank accounts and stuff. And so he received it in cash, and Floyd Mayweather is saying he's missing it and how dare Showtime gives him the money without his permission. He was like, well, wait a minute, but you gave him permission. Yeah, but I didn't tell y'all, I told him. So he's trying to use a way to get in there so he can hold him responsible because he know he's not going to get the money back from the Nation of Islam at all. That money gone. That money gone.
Tasha K points to a common financial mistake where spending remains high while responsibilities and expenses continue to build in the background. In Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s case, his luxury lifestyle may create the impression that money is never an issue, but behind that image there can be major expenses, investments, and financial commitments that require a steady flow of income. When earnings decrease or become less predictable, those obligations can quickly become difficult to manage. According to Tasha K, true financial strength is not determined by how much money a person makes, but by how well that money is managed over time. She suggests that without careful planning and control, even enormous wealth can come under pressure, especially when high spending continues while hidden financial obligations keep growing.
Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly. And they don't ask you for...
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you, well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely, they confirm you have money. And they don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is sick.
While this strengthened his...
Pauli Malignaggi explains that much of the attention surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s finances comes from the way he openly showcased his wealth throughout his career. According to Malignaggi, if Mayweather had kept his financial affairs more private, far fewer people would be questioning his current situation. Instead, his frequent displays of luxury attracted public interest and encouraged fans and analysts to take a closer look at his finances. Over the years, Mayweather created a public image strongly connected to wealth, regularly showing off expensive cars, private jets, and large amounts of cash, making his financial status a constant topic of discussion.
Honestly, but offhand, you're asking me what my thoughts are offhand. I can never, listen, when I had a lot of money, I was a lot of times spending more, and I wasn't tracking every single cent, right? I mean, I was kind of reckless. I was young. I was, you know, a pro athlete. I went from having nothing to having a bunch of money. So yeah, I'm not always tracking it as well as I should. But bro, if I'm missing a lot of difference money, if there's a huge difference, I'm gonna track it automatically just because it's so obvious. 340 million, no matter how much money you're making, 340 million does not slip through the cracks like you said.
Third of $1 billion.
Like, it's not, you know, I don't know, like there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend 20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what? I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went to with my friend to go check out a Ferrari he was gonna buy.
That's it.
That wraps up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest boxing updates and stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.